Hey everybody, Jonathan here, and today we are going through spider kick. Red spring, or red and yellow, or red and two yellows or more. We're going to be facing one direction, and the target leg will be left today because it's going to be on top of the bar next to the donkey kick pad. You'll separate your knees wide on the carriage, and then you'll place your foot on top of the bar with your toes up and diagonal. Right hand underneath my shoulder, left hand holding the handle next to number 2. Knee is right underneath the hip. You don't want to be all the way out over here. You don't want to be all the way in here. Just start right there at the center line. Push through your heel or the arch of your foot outwards 95%. Breathe in as you slowly bend the knee, bringing the carriage in. You take a look at my right anchored knee onto the carriage. It's staying straight and down. How you know someone's doing this incorrectly is if they start to push out and their knee goes outwards with the carriage, or as they push out, their knee starts to collapse in. Another thing you want to avoid is don't lock out the knee that is pushing. It's not wrong, but you're going to lose tension, so 95%. Sometimes I like to turn my anchored hand outwards so that the fingers are facing the back platform. And make sure that you have a soft bend in the right elbow, pulling up with the handle, so that way you can keep everything nice and squared. Because I don't really like teaching spider kick, I do a different one where you kick from the platform. So being closer to the front platform, your knees are going to be hip width apart. You're going to grab number 2, right hand under the shoulder, and instead of putting the foot on the bar, your foot goes in front of the platform. In the same position, we're going to exhale as you push the carriage out through the leg. Breathe in as you bend the left knee to bring it in, keeping your gaze down, never tucking the chin, never hyperextending our neck looking forward, just looking down or down and slightly forward. This is the modification, especially if you have hip issues, to go down to the platform. I also don't really feel this as well, and it's kind of difficult when I'm doing other heavy exercises because I would have to go a lot heavier in the spider kick to feel something. Then it would be too heavy for me for runner's lunge or whatever else we decide to do. So it takes my time to take off the spring. What I like to do is reverse of this exercise, and I call it platform spider kick. The target leg will be onto the carriage, kneel on the platform, tuck their anchored knee up against the strap of the platform, place the heel or arch of the foot down in front of the moving carriage, making sure that the knee is directly under the hip. Left hand is down holding the ring of fire, right hand is holding the handle. We're in kind of like a tabletop back. Left knee stays under the hip. Exhale as you push through your heel or the arch of your foot 95%. Breathe in as you slowly bring it in. I find this to be a little bit more effective. It's kind of like a side kick, except you're not really working the left leg as much as if you're on the floor in an isometric squat. This is just really isolating the outer thighs and the gluteus medius. The reason why we're holding the right hand against the bar is because when we push out the carriage, we're going to feel pushed to the left. So by using the hand as leverage, you're actually activating the right arm at the same time. And you're also pressing down the left hand into the ring of fire or the platform, working that as well. You don't ever have to push all the way out. Don't force it to where you're locking your knee. You don't have to go out as far as anybody else, because if you can't control the range of motion, there's no point to go out so far. And if you can't go slow, you know that it's too heavy. So as an instructor, if you see someone going way too fast like this, it's because it's probably too heavy. So you need to come by and take off a yellow spring. And if someone really can't do it on a red, which I don't think is likely, then you can just pop on all the yellows and then do that for them. I understand that some exercises are set to be red and yellow or just red, but some people aren't everybody else. You can have a petite person and one red feels like a red and 3 yellows. So sometimes all the yellows combined is their heaviest push. So don't push people into something they don't feel comfortable with, because they're going to feel defeated, maybe even called out, and they might even hurt themselves. I've had conversations with clients that have said they lightened the spring load, but the instructor came over and made it heavier when they couldn't do it. It's always good to communicate. If you're going to be teaching an exercise that most people don't understand or have complications with, take the time 1 or 2 minutes before class to really go over the exercise and give everybody a visual as to what they can do to modify, and encourage people that if they really can't do something, just take breaks. If it's still too difficult, all the yellows. It's kind of good if you just start the class and have all the machines on a red, and then let everybody know what they feel like. If it's too light, they know to add yellows, and if it's too heavy, they know to put all yellows instead of red. Keep in mind that some exercises people need more or less. Heavy exercises are a little tricky. That's why taking that little amount of time before class to really set everyone off right is going to help you as an instructor and help the client and the overall class. So that's my take on spider kick, which is where you kneel on the carriage with your target leg on the bar next to the donkey kick pad. The modification is foot down onto the platform, and my preference is changing it to the opposite, where the target leg is on the carriage, pushing out through the target leg. Thanks for your time. See you next time.